Okay.
But it is.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dr. Imani Ma'at.
J. Bernard Kine Sr., welcome.
Welcome to another episode of Progressively Yours Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by the Sankofa Institute for Wellness. And I don't know, we're just in a place of joy and peace, and we're just excited to be with you again. And sometimes things change, different from what we planned and we expected. And I think that we have to stay in a place of gratitude and learn to be flexible. So we did have a guest scheduled for this evening who's very, very, very busy, and things happen. So we're going to do the first part of our show, and then probably invite you to watch one of our previous episodes. But we always want to take advantage of the fact that many of you are loyal listeners, and new folks have taken the time out of your schedule to be with us, to bring your presence to our event. So thank you so much. And Bernard?
Yeah, and we do not take that lightly. We are so humbled and grateful as we are growing in grace with our show, and we thank you for your continued prayers and support. So I like to do a brief spiritual opening for us, which is part of our ritual and tradition here at Progressively Yours Health and Wellness Podcast. I'd like to invite you, if you wish to participate, to just, if you're sitting or moving, to close your eyes. If you're moving in a way that you can stand still for a moment and just take 3 breaths in and out through your nose, deep and full, and just notice your breath for a moment. And just for this 1 minute, notice your body. Notice any sensations that you may feel as you prepare your hearts and your mind to receive what we have to offer for you tonight. For our meditation tonight, I have a reading from the Nikki Giovanni in her book.
The famous and amazing Nikki Giovanni.
Thank you.
I must add. She's one of my favorite people and poetess.
Yes, and beautiful picture, beautiful smile from this text, A Good Cry. I've been reading through it, and I came across one entitled A Poem for Ethel, Morgan Smith, and Lucy. So this is our meditative thoughts from this reading. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is forget to tell those folk who mean the most to you that they do. I am guilty. I call when I need lifting. I call when I need advice. I call when I need to understand something. Then I forget to say thank you. Chocolate isn't enough, and I wouldn't dream of jewelry. But a thank you might at least show my mother reared a decent child. So this isn't even a good poem, but it is a friend trying to say, I want to be a good friend. Since we are in these mountains alone, writing what we can and wishing each other the very best.
Love that. I love that. That's so nice. And as one who likes to write poetry, it gives me kind of permission to write down my streams of thought. And a lot of times I'll just have like a serious stream of thought like that. And I said, oh, it's not really a poem. It's not worth writing or sharing. But it is. It's simple, but still so powerful.
Yeah, very powerful. And the central theme is finding ways to those who have meaning in your life to say thank you for what they bring, what they offer. And sometimes just say thank you, let it be a spontaneous expression to those important in your life. And once you offer that sense of gratitude, then your spirit is lifted as well as lifting theirs.
Right. We always say everything is vibration, you know, and your vibration is going to be met by other people and animals that have the same vibration as you. So if you go and you're down in the dumps, you know, that's what you're going to attract to you, more down in the dumpness. And so I think, yeah, that's such a nice piece to remember to say thank you. And when you reach out and you get advice or get a hug or get whatever support you need from friends and close family, associates. So
I will bring her back next week because I really want to share the next one. I give you the title. It's entitled "I Married My Mother."
Wow. I definitely want to hear that. Definitely want to hear that. I know a lot of people say we become our mothers or fathers, or, you know, but I hadn't heard it quite put like that. I married my mother. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I think what we can do is perhaps our producer can put on, there's a nice piece that we have for the Healer Team products, Dr. Kobie, and we may do a replay of his show and encourage you all to listen to that. But in the meantime, we can probably show one of the videos that we have. With Janet.
Hey, I want you to know, first of all, that I have not been paid to be here. I'm here because my heart runs over with joy because I met Dr. Kobie. I don't know if there's any harsher words in the English language than to have a doctor come before you and say, you've got stage 4 liver cancer. It's a death sentence. So I asked him, how long do I have to live? And he said, no more than 6 months. No. I should have died last Valentine's Day, but here I am. And I gotta tell you, I don't know whether I was angry or if I was just feeling sorry for myself. I don't know what I was feeling when the doctor told me that. One thing I know is that when I was told that, I knew I had a choice to make because he immediately began to sell me on the idea of chemotherapy. So I did a lot of research, and it's pretty amazing when you're told you have this death sentence and you begin to share it with family and friends and your colleagues and so forth. It's amazing how many cures come out of the woodwork. Everybody's got a cure. And yet, when you look and you study and you begin to compare all the information that's out there, you begin to realize that there's a lot of bullshit. One thing I recognized pretty quick was that the professional, they call them an oncologist because they specialize in cancer, they really don't have your best interest in mind. They look at you like they're concerned. They talk to you like they're concerned. The bottom line is they want to pump poison into you and keep you alive so they can keep pumping poison into you.
Okay, we are back. And I was just thinking of that statement that the views of the people that you're hearing are not necessarily the views of this program, but we have met Dr. Kubius and have spoken with him. We had him on the show. We actually are going to play a little bit from a really nice interview that we did with him a couple weeks ago. But even more exciting than that, Dr. Kubius is so much in demand that his team has set up a 4-city tour for him to go and meet with people and talk about his products and what he does. I mean, he's such a down to earth and just a real sweet person who's totally dedicated to seeing people heal and to see them heal from the inside. You know, their bodies, our bodies are designed to heal themselves. And he says, if you clean the blood and the cells and the organs, then the body does what it needs to do to take care of itself. So he's going to be, for our Atlanta listeners, he's going to be in Atlanta on June 13th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the St. John's Lutheran Church here in Atlanta on 1410 Ponce de Leon
at the corner
Avenue at the corner of Oakdale. So we will make sure to post that and to get that information out to people, because that's going to be really, really nice just to see him and to feel his heart. And I think they'll be doing samples of these products that, people are providing testimonies about how effective it has been for them and for their own healing journey. My own sort of testimonial is that I have, I'll just say, 2 black spots on my back, and they were raised up a little bit. And it's something, I don't know if it's genetic, because I've seen both my parents have these little spots, around on their chest, on their backs. And so I didn't get worried about it. I didn't, think it was really an issue. But we noticed the other day that they're now flat and they're maybe a third of the size that they used to be. And I'm like, wow, I wasn't even really looking for anything. And that's really one of the only things I've changed about my routine, was taking some of his main product called Limpin Cell and some of the others, but I know the Limpin Cell is the one that gets in and cleans the cells and the blood and so forth. So we're excited to invite people to come out. I have the other cities. I don't have the dates handy, but I know that he's also going to be in Charlotte and Orlando. Charlotte, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida. Where was the 4th place? Yeah, it's anyway, it's his southeastern tour, and people I'm pretty sure that admissions is free. I'm sure that it is, and he just wants to spread the word about these amazing products. So we're gonna have the replay of the former show up by 8:30.
Yes.
I think by 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
And, we would be happy to take any questions that people may have about, let me see. Okay, so yeah, you can call me, you can email me in particular about the different cities that he's going to be in and the locations and the times. I'd be happy to share that. The phone number is 470-861-7266, and the email is drimani, DRIMANI, at sankofainstitute.info, and that's SANKOFAINSTITUTE, Institute, however, institute.info. So please feel free to reach out to me, and we can get you the location where he's going to be in your city. People have all kinds of testimonials. And again, just as a disclaimer, if people have serious health issues that they're dealing with, before changing your regimen, check with your own doctor or health practitioner. I know that these products are not designed to cure, heal, or prevent anything. However, there's lots of testimonials of things that they are doing, but we just have to give that disclaimer. So we we now have where people can watch the replay of Dr. Kubius. It's on LinkedIn. Okay, so that's a long link. I wonder if we can shorten that link with what's the tinyurl.com, and probably shorten that to make it easy for folks. However, I will read it. Should I try to read it? It's a long link. And most people aren't listening on the phone, so they're watching. So just copy link changed. Did it get shorter? Looks like it did. That's the YouTube link. The YouTube link is different from the LinkedIn. So there should be links on all of our normal channels, the LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, right? So just go to the YouTube channel. It's a smiley face. Just go to the YouTube channel, Progressively Yours, Health and Wellness Podcast. And that's probably the easiest way to see it.
So we just heard from our guest who was scheduled tonight. And
you did.
Yeah, we won't tell you the name because he wants to come back, but we will say he is
the name is all
attorney.
over the internet because we've already posted it. So
well,
you can say his
okay.
name.
Well, he offered his apologies. He had a federal brief filed today in a civil rights case.
Wow.
And so he offers his sincere apologies, and we'll reach out tomorrow. So we figured it had to be something because he's a outstanding, not only attorney, but just human being in person. I know him pretty well. We work out at the YMCA, and so we're there in the mornings and giving support one to another. I've been on his program where he supports young black men at the Y in Southwest Atlanta, and
he's got a new book out about encouraging young black males to step up and be part of the liberation movement.
Yeah, it says, "We need you.
We need you.
Encouraging my son's generation for black liberation."
Yeah. So to get involved and to be community oriented. There's so much work that needs to be done, and a lot of the older folks are not getting burned out, but just needing new energy, new life that the young people can bring to.
Well, it's like a support one to the other, you know, and that new life, that new energy. Then they collect wisdom from those who have traveled the path and integrate their new imaginations of how to carry on the fight for liberation.
Right, absolutely. So we will reschedule Brother Davis, Attorney Davis, and we are very excited about that. And so in the meantime, please go to our YouTube channel. And again, it's Progressively Yours, Health and Wellness Podcast. If you just type that out, the show will pop up, Dr. Kubius. And
you know, one of the beautiful things about that I enjoyed about our conversation with Dr. Kubius was his spirit and his energy and his love for people, and which connects with our theme, which is in the title of our show, Health and Wellness, and just his sincere drive and motivation to want to help people, you know.
And real humble, because we asked,
humble.
I don't know if it was in that interview or another, we asked about, I guess it was in that interview, we asked him about, you know, his creations in terms of these natural supplements, you know, all from natural herbs and roots and leaves and, you know, things that are all healing. And he says, "Oh, you know, my team put this together." And I'm like, "You know, you're so humble. It was him, you know." But he does have a team of people helping him now to make sure to get these products out. But they've been vetted by the
FDA.
FDA, and did many university studies to assess the effectiveness of the product. So it's not junk. It's very powerful. I was talking to somebody in my yoga studio just yesterday, and they said, there's so much on the market. How do you know what's good? What sets things apart? And part of it is him, in terms of his intention. So let me see what I'm looking at. Dr. Kobie's amazing interview at 8:30. Yeah, so just check it out on YouTube. And again, we apologize for the scheduling problem, but we have to be flexible and understand that he definitely would have been here had, and I want to say his name correctly, Brother Mawuli
Mawuli
Mel Davis, and
Mawuli,
very well known
Mawuli
in
Mel
Atlanta.
Davis.
I mean, he is a champion for Black
Black
liberation
liberation.
and for rights. He's an attorney, so he is constantly there doing the work. And so it's going to be a great show when we do have him on. So we encourage you to watch our interview with Dr. Kobie. I'm sure many of you have not seen it. We're always getting new people that are coming on board to watch the show. So please enjoy that. Enjoy your evening, and we will be back next week.
Do you know who this is?
Next week. What is somebody that you
It's the brother from Salt and Light. The poet.
John
No.
Johnson, Bob Johnson.
Not Bob.
Not
Bob was going to be the following. Now we got to reschedule him because of.
Okay,
Dr.
we'll probably
Kobie
still do it that week, but we may have to change the date.
Change the date
that week because we have a guest who is one of the people leading the movement for Juneteenth in terms of making it a holiday and making it helping people understand what it's all about. So we are going to have Bob Johnson, another local hero in Atlanta, but known throughout the U.S. and throughout the world. We're going to have him the week of right before the Juneteenth celebrations that Saturday. So I think next week is someone who has come up with a way to I won't say compete with Uber and Lyft and places like that, but it's a car service local here to Atlanta, but it's probably going to spread very quickly. One that gives the drivers a much larger percentage of what they've earned.
Brother Sincere.
Brother Sincere.
Yeah.
Is that Brother Sincere?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, good. So yeah, we look forward. I was so impressed with him because so many times we see a program and we use it and then we complain about it, like, but they're not paying, and it's not fair, and the owners are making all the money and the drivers aren't doing anything. So they've come up with an alternative program that people can use, and I know that there are already people lined up to be drivers for that program, and he's vetting them, and they have to go through security checks and all of that. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a wonderful program. So, anything else to add?
Well, we have a few moments remaining, so I will close on our side with another spiritual meditation.
Mm-hmm.
This time from Howard Thurman. I may have read this a few weeks ago. I'm not sure, but
okay.
it is so wonderful. He delivered this message at Spelman on May 4th, 1980, at the baccalaureate services. And the title is The Sound of the Genuine. The Sound of the Genuine. I just want to read a few paragraphs from each section for your heart's meditation from this great, we talk about liberation theology. He was our Moses, Black Moses, but he was quiet behind the scene. He inspired Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King looked up to Dr. Thurman when when Martin was taken out, assassinated. In his briefcase was one of Dr. Thurman's books. So Jesus and the Disinherited. So many of us are followers of Thurman and his teachings. But these words, there's in every person something that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in herself. There is in you something that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. Nobody like you has ever been born, and no one like you will ever be born again. You are the only one. And if you miss the sound of the genuine in you, you will be a cripple all the rest of your life, because you will never be able to get a scent on who you really are. He goes on to say, there is something in every one of you that waits, listens for the genuine in yourself. And if you cannot hear it, you will never find whatever it is you wish you are, for which you are searching. And if you hear it and then do not follow it, it was better that you had never been born. You are the only you that has ever lived. Your idioms is the only idiom of its kind in all the existences. And if you cannot hear the sound of the genuine in you, you will all your life spend your days on the ends of strings that someone else pulls.
Wow.
Therefore, cultivate the discipline of listening to the sound of the genuine in yourself.
That's powerful. Step into your own power, as opposed to trying to step into somebody else's shoes and somebody else's direction. Find out what your genuine is and follow it and be glued to it.
If you're interested in this, you can find it at Crossings Reflection #4 on the University of Indianapolis website.
Great. All right. Well, thank you. And with that, we're going to say good evening, but please, please listen into the interview with Dr. Kobie on the YouTube channel. We're grateful. And with that, we are going to say good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Appreciate it.